So I'll do patch runner right now. I think this is a patch. Patch 11.13 system changes. Magnetic Remover and Reforger can appear in the enhanced armories. I think this is really good. You almost never pick Magnetic Remover or Reforger, and it's like super bad compared to full items or components even, or like Nico. Full 2 item plus 2 special item armor replaced with 4 full item armory. I think that's fine too. I'm not really sure exactly what it's talking about. The next one's also the same. Changes of 4-2 armor have been increased. I think this is really good. It feels kind of bad if you're at 4-2, you don't get an armory because you don't slam many items at 4-1, waiting for the 4-2 armory, but you don't get it. So odds of this happening is really good, I think. I think generally more items, having slightly more items is always better than having fewer items, because you just have more options and more carries potential, or tank potential. Chances of seeing a special item are dramatically reduced. I think that's good. You'll see less emblems, less spot items like that. So it's like slightly less snowbally. Chances of seeing components fall are slightly higher. I think that's also good. Odds of a 5-2 armor have been decreased. So I think with these changes, at 4-2, you should always expect to see an armor at 4-2. Meaning that you probably don't slam like half iffy items at 4-1. And at 5-1, you're most likely going to be just slamming the iffy items at 5-1 because you're going to be seeing less armors at 5-2, right? Odds of late game 6-2 and 7-2 armor haven't been changed. That's fine, that's good. TL, there are less emblem and special items for armories. I think that's good. Good overall change. Next, trait change. Skirmishers got buffed. 3 skirm same, 6 skirm got changed from 40% max shield, HP shield, to 45. 5%. I think this is good. Skirms, skirms are really hard to win with, and it's like a comp you pivot out of at 6 skirm. Even though the 6 skirm can be strong in stage 3, you almost always pivot out late game. And 9 skirm was always like really bad, unless you have like a fawn plus a skirm spot. So you never run 9 skirm. So like getting 9 skirm buff is really good, especially since you need level 9 for this comp, right? Kled got a huge buff. I think this is like a really big buff. The base attack speed went from 0.7 to 0.75, and now he has an additional spell. Where every fourth auto attack, you do bonus damage based on your base AD, and with this interaction with the base attack speed buff, it's like a huge DPS increase, right? So I would expect, and then Poppy also got buffed by 10 full mana, and I think Poppy 3 damage got buffed by 50, and spell shield got buffed by 75, but it's mostly going to be at 2-star that's important. So you get an extra 25 health shield at 2-star. So with these changes, I would expect Hellion openers to be back and to be pretty strong, but it's most likely going to be stacking the Kled, right? Especially the Kled's this spell, every 4th auto attack, it does bonus damage. This interaction is really good with... it's just really good for Kled because Kled's a Hellion unit, and Kled has a Hellion trait, which is basically attack speed, and Kled got a base attack speed buff, and also Kled's spell, when he gets out of the mount, he gets more attack speed boost, which means that he just has more opportunities to proc the 4th auto attack, 4th attack. So this is like a really big DPS increase for Kled. So I would expect Kled to be holding all the Hurricane, Deathblade, i.e. all the Last Whisper, all the physical item. Kled is probably the one to be holding. Kennen also got slight buffed, 1 auto diff for the first cast, and then the slight damage buff, the 25. I think this is perfectly fine. I think this is good. Kennen's damage mostly comes from Morello anyway, so the 25 extra damage is like whatever. And then the 10 mana buff is also pretty good. Trundle got slightly reworked. Instead of having 0 to 60 mana, it goes from 30 to 80. It goes to 30 to 80. So it's gonna cast less often, but the first cast is gonna be 1 auto quicker, or earlier I should say. Trundle drains his target strength, reduces their HP and armor and MR and AD by 35%, and grants himself 100, 130, or 200 of the drain stats for 8 seconds. So before, it used to steal the AP scaling. How Trundle worked with AP scaling is, if you have enough AP, you could just literally one-tap the tank by like 100%, because the scaling, how it used to work was, the Trundle damage, the suck used to scale with AP, but it no longer does that, so it does a fixed 35%, damage, whereas now the AP scales with his stolen stats. You'll see a stronger Trundles after the suck, but it won't like one tap any of the carries or any of the tanks, I should say. For cost buff, Ashe got buffed. Ashe 3 got actually a pretty big buff. 150 magic damage for ult, 50 for Ashe 2-star. I think Ashe was actually kind of good. It's like a high roll comp. If you have a Draconic opener with Ashe 3 with the correct item, like Guinsu, Last Whisper BT, it was pretty strong. So I think it'll be really strong if you can get an opener for it. Yasuo got, oh, this is a really big nerf. 50-50 all across the board. And also the true damage got nerfed by 5. I would definitely not be playing Yasuo. Yeah, this will probably kill Yasuo. Or it'll be really weak. Even if people decide to play. Like, you'll only probably play if you just natural Yasuo 2 in like stage 2, right? Nidalee got a spell rework. Nidalee transformed into a Cougar and leaps beyond the lowest HP enemy. While in Cougar form, Nidalee gains 45% dodge chance and 40, 50, 75 attack speed. And her attack becomes melee attack that deals magic damage, bonus magic damage every 4th auto attack. Basically, it went from having a 30, 40, 50 dodge chance to 45 fixed. 45 is actually really a lot. And it gains attack speed. This is like a really big buff, I think. I think this will increase our DPS by a lot because Nidalee is a skirmisher, and skirmisher is getting a slight buff as well as 6 skirms. And then all the skirmishers have a lot of high AD, which scales with, which is really good with attack speed, right? Because they're just autoing more often, faster with higher AD. It's a pretty big buff, I think. 4-cost champion. Oh, Rise is getting changed. Rise's base attack speed got buffed by 0.5. But now Rise's spell, Rise's empowered spell, now stuns secondary target for half the stun duration. But main target is still stunned for the full duration. So what this means is if you have Shadow Blue buff Rise with GA, for example, instead of the Rise being able to stun the entire enemy team for the full duration for the entire fight, it's gonna be stunning one unit, the main target, for the full duration, perma-stun, and the remaining of the enemy team half the duration. So it's not gonna be perma-stun. But I would still expect Rise to be really strong, right? Full stun every other spell with Shadow Blue buff for even half the duration. I think it's still really strong. Or not, it won't be really strong, but it'll be like less annoying. But I think it'll be still strong enough to be played. Yeah, would have preferred if they changed Shadow Blue buff. We'll see how it goes. Kale's getting changed. Kale's base HP went from 500 to 650, so it's like a really big HP increase. Base AD got buffed from 60 to 75. Base attack speed got buffed from 1 to 1.1. Her ascensions got nerfed. The third ascension, the invincibility spell, it goes now she goes invincible every 15 auto instead of 10. Her fourth ascension deals like pretty much way less damage. So they just basically nerfed Kale's ascension, third and fourth ascension, but buffed their like front-loaded damage, right? So she's gonna be way more useful in the beginning to middle of the fight. Whereas right now she's completely useless until there's 8 seconds left in the fight, doing 0 damage, and then once you're stunned, she 1v9s. But you'll probably, I think this change is a lot better than the current one. It makes it so that you don't have to fully build your comp around Kale for a stall comp. You could have Kale as a potential like 80 carry, maybe like hold a Phlex item or stuff like that, and work as an 80 carry instead of stall comp waiting for her ascension, right? So maybe you could play this. There's some sort of like an 80 carry Kale board. Shadow Eye got reworked. Now deals self damage on attack and ability cast rather than every instance of damage. I think this is a really big buff to Shadow Eye. Also, really good change. Before, you never stomp Shadow Eye because unless you have the healing item. Because if you have Jewel Gauntlet with Shadow Eye on like Vel'Koz or Karma, they just kill itself. Same with Hurricane, like Shadow Hurricane or regular Hurricane. It procs twice, meaning it does way too much damage to your carry. So this change makes it so that you have more options. Like I would probably slam Shadow Eye every single time now, right? And I'm pretty sure with this change, Shadow Eye is almost, I mean not almost. I mean it's almost always better than regular IE. I mean it should be always better, right? Because the DPS, like I think it's like 30% damage increase compared to regular IE. So Shadow Eye is probably like your go-to carry item if you compare to IE. Shadow Sunfire also got buffed. The downside of Shadow Sunfire was it applies the Morello to the holder, but now it only applies for the first 8 seconds. Probably no one's gonna be able to tell the difference, but slight buff, I guess. Iron Spark got buffed. Instead of doing 20% of the caster's mana as damage, it does 250 now. Still bad at him. I don't think anyone's gonna slam it. DS got nerfed. 4DS got nerfed by 10 AP to the DS holders. I think with this DS nerf, along with the Yasuo nerf, it's gonna definitely feel a lot weaker, right? To be fair, 4DS, like, if it's self AP, it doesn't really do that much because it only applies to Trundle, Diana, Mord, and Pantheon. But yeah, you'll probably see way less Yasuo. It'll probably go down to like B tier comp, I don't know. C tier comp maybe. Ironclad got slight nerfed. It goes from 40 to 35 armor, 90 to 85, 180 to 170. I think this is good. The previous issue was that if you're playing 80 comp, if you don't have Last Whisper, if the enemy just takes an Ironclad, you just instantly lose. So it was definitely too oppressive, especially for all the units are really good. Like Nautilus is a really good unit. CC frontline gives Knight plus Ironclad. Rel is an insane unit. So it's like way easy to tech into, right? Super easy to tech. So I think this nerf is 6 Forgotten got base nerfed. Base stats of Forgotten got nerfed. It goes from 30 to 25, 70 to 60, 140 to 125. But then the bonus stats per shadow item got buffed from 10 to 15. Wait, let me do the math. So if you have one shadow item, previously you'll get 7 AP, 780. But now I think you get 9, right? 9 per stack? Yeah, it's 9, right? So you'll get extra 2 AD and 2 AP from the previous. And assuming you have 4, you get 8 AP, 8 AP, 8 AD. Which means, assuming you have 4 stacks, you'll be sitting at 68, which is pretty much no difference, assuming you have 4 stacks. I think this is a really good change. I really like this change. So basically what it's gonna feel like is early game, you're not gonna be insanely strong with having 0 shadow items. But late game, if you have 4 shadow items, you're pretty much gonna feel no difference late game. I would still expect Forgotten to be really strong. Or like, not really strong, but like, I think it will still be very playable, for sure. Yeah, I think it will all still be very strong. You'll definitely have really weaker early to mid game, but late game you shouldn't feel that much difference. Like it shouldn't feel that, like you shouldn't like notice the difference, right? Knight got buffed, 2 Knight got buffed. It goes from 15 to 20. Really good. All the Knight units were really weak compared to the brawler, like the Warwick / Gragas frontline. So I think this change is really good. 6 Knight got nerfed, but like no one plays 6 Knights, so it's fine. Legionnaire, 8 Legionnaire got buffed. Pretty much no change. Almost no one plays 8 Legionnaire. Shouldn't notice the difference. It's still really strong though if you can get there. 9 Redeem got buffed. 9 Redeem was pretty weak for a 9 trait, but it's like really like these stuff you're barely gonna see anytime. Like you're not gonna see 8 Legionnaire or like 9 Redeem every single game, so shouldn't be a problem. 2 Rangers got buffed from 70 to 75. It's only 5% attack speed. I think this is good. 6 Junior got nerfed by 1%. Ziggs lost 50 HP, but gained 25 spell damage at 2-star and 75 at 3-star. Maybe there could be Hellion reroll comp with a Kled buff and the Poppy 3. Poppy 3 got buffed, Ziggs 3 got buffed, and then Kled got Omega buffed, which means that there's going to be a lot of I think there's going to be maybe Hellion reroll can be a viable strat. Is it strat really Hellion on Teemo Rush? I'm not sure. I mean, you probably can't force Hellion reroll. Like, it's like super hard to force a 1-cost reroll just because they changed the 1-cost odds, right, for shops like a few patches ago. Varus got nerfed by 5 at 2-star and 15 by 3-star. That's actually pretty big 3-star nerf. But Varus is pretty strong, especially since the trait's really good redeemed, right? Probably not going to be seeing any 3-star Varuses. Probably just going to be like Varus 2 into Fast 8 or 9, and then swap it to Vel'Koz if you have AP item, or Aphelios if you have AD item. And just Varus is going to be just default item holder for... Like Varus is like a really good item holder for pretty much AD carries or AP carries. So probably less 3-star Varus comps, and more as like an item holder. 3-cost champ nerfs. Katarina got nerfed at 1-star, 20 spell damage, and 10. Katarina 1 was way too strong early game, for sure. So I think this nerf is acceptable. 7 Lux. Lux 25 reduced shield, 25 at 1-star and 2-star. I think pretty good nerf. I think Lux was like actually like hidden OP early mid game. because you just save so much HP. The shield is actually insane. She shields around like 2 to like 8k every fight. Lee Sin got nerfed 250, 350, 750. I think Lee Sin 3 being strong is fine. I think Lee Sin 2 might be. I think Lee Sin 1 and 2 might be too strong. Like maybe it would have been better if it was like 225, 325, 750. But maybe I mean with the Yasuo nerf and then Dragon Slayer nerf, you'll probably see less Lee Sins, right? I guess you just see it in skirmishers now. Zarya's spell hitbox have been widened slightly. This is actually really good. I mean, Zarya was like low-key kind of good, sometimes really clutch. But I think with this change, a lot of people will play Zyra. Oh, this with Ashe nerf, Ashe buff as well. Maybe we'll see more A-Bomb plus Zyra or like Ashe. 2 Draconic units getting buffed is kind of scary though. And also, I'm not really sure how big how much fatter the hitbox become. Like I don't know how big this buff is, right? Without actually seeing the skill. 4 cost, Affiliates 1 got buffed by 25 spell damage. No change for 2-star and 3-star. I mean, it's good, but I feel like the problem with Affiliates is if you get there at level 8 or 9 and hit everything, you're strong. But it's so hard to stabilize with like Scuff Lord. Karma got nerfed. 15 damage at 1-star, 20 damage at 2-star. I think this nerf is 100%. Like everyone expected this. Karma was way too strong, doing way too much damage. That's good. Terry got buff at 2 auto, 100 to 120. I think this buff is a little scary. Terry was already really strong, and this is almost gonna always guarantee the Terry cast, which means pretty scary buff. I think Terry will be played in almost every single comp now, because he was already good. He was already a really strong unit. Jax got buffed by 0.5 attack speed. I think that's a lot of skirms buff, right? Nelly buffed as well. Hopefully it's not a full skirm lobbies every game. But well, skirms definitely got a lot stronger, for sure.
HIIIII.
Yeah, thanks for 2 months up, Barry. I appreciate 2 months up. Rel got spell shield nerf 50 and then another 50. Nice. This unit was way too strong. Redeem trait was really good. Ironclad spell was really good. Even Cavalier was pretty strong trait. Really strong trait. Like just the fact that Rel just runs up and then is able to full tank while stunning everyone was way too oppressive. This nerf is 100% granted. Teemo got slide nerfed, 10 damage at 1-star, 15 damage at 2-star. I think that's fine. Maybe just 1-star nerf. Maybe 2-star is like too big of a nerf. Because 2-star you have to sacrifice 18 HP. Volley also got buff while Volley 1 auto. I don't think Volley needed a buff because Volley was already in a really good spot. Volley's already really strong too. But I mean it's like 1 auto. It's like not that much of a difference, right? Like it's not like this 1 auto is gonna be like game breaker. Kind of wish there was an Ivern nerf. I think Ivern's way too strong for sure. Yeah, I think they're missing, or I kind of expected to see Ivern nerf. Like instead of buffing Taric, which I think is already a good champion, I wish they kind of nerfed Ivern, as in like the Ivern unit is way too tanky. The Daisy is like it has 1.5k HP at 1-star and like 2.5k at 2-star. I think just way too tanky for how cheap it is, and his synergy is way too broken too. Revenant, Invoker, plus Renewer, all really 3 solid traits. Art changes staff, Shadow. So instead of getting 400 HP, 400%, you get 350%? What's this? I mean, no difference. No one builds this item anyway. Actually, this item is actually pretty good on Garen 2 or Darius 2. But like who cares about this? Locket, Shadow Locket nerf. I think this nerf is 100% like needed. Like Shadow Locket was way too oppressive. Probably the best frontline item in the game. So this change is really good, or this nerf is really good. Giant Slayer also got buffed. It goes from the 1.7k threshold to 1,650. And the bonus damage got slightly nerfed to adjust for the threshold. The threshold is really big. I'm pretty sure with this change, the 100 HP buff change, I think Taric's in range now. Rel's in range. Taric and Rel should be in range. Pretty big. Because right now, you never stun Giant Slayer because it only procs on like Warmogs, 4 brawler, which no one has late game. And it only works on like 3 stars, which not a lot of people have 3-star anyway. And it only works on like Garen 2 or like Darius 2, right? So like this item was completely dead. But with this change, proccing on Tarek plus Rel, I think it's really good change. Redemption got slight nerf, 30% to 25. AU damage reduction. Bug fixes, fix the bug where that's 8 assassins will turn Wolf, Daisy, Heimer turrets, and 0 voice on that current crit strike. Reforce will no longer good nerf bug fix. Shadow Sunfire not proper was good. Revive with no longer stronger if the whole Kindra's ability. Oh, I didn't even know this. I think they needed to fix Syndra AI with a spell. It's super annoying when your carries chase around the Syndra ulted unit, and super annoying for the Wolf AI as well, because the Wolf AI can lure all the range unit to the middle of the map, right? And there's also assassin bug as well. Like, if the assassin jumps, I'm not sure how it works, but sometimes if you corner like your Draven or your range unit and the assassin jump on you, the range unit just AFKs. So maybe they're working on it, on fixing the assassin AI, Wolf AI, Syndra AI, right? It's a pretty big winner, yeah. But everything else is good. I think that's it. So conclusion, I fully expect to see way more Hellion openers. Fully expect to see Yasuo being not played, Shadow Eye being almost always better than regular IE, Kale can be played in more comps other than the Kale comp. Forgotten will still be strong, but definitely feel weaker early to mid game. Like not good enough to force every single game, but still probably very playable. And a little bit scared of SKIRMs getting buffed a lot and Draconic getting buffed a lot. So I'll be on the watch out for SKIRMs and Draconic, probably SKIRMs. I think SKIRMs will do really well in the first like few days of the patch, because these are pretty big buffs. Alright, that's it.